Title: The Most Misunderstood Personality Type. Opening hook: calm, reflective tone. Have you ever met someone for the first time, and within seconds, you quietly judged them? They didn't talk much. They didn't smile right away. No small talk, no warm energy. And somewhere in your mind, a thought appeared. Wow, this person is kind of arrogant. Even though you hadn't known them for more than a minute. Pause. But what if that assumption was completely wrong? What if the person you labeled as cold was actually the most sincere, loyal, and deeply caring person you could ever meet? They just needed a little more time to let you into their world. Intro segment. Welcome back to Daily Inspiration, a space where we talk about psychology and mental health in a way that actually connects to real life. Today, we're breaking down one of the most common misunderstandings about introverts. And by the end of this video, the way you read people will never be the same again. We'll cover 4 key things. Why introverts often look arrogant but aren't. What's actually happening in their minds. The difference between arrogance and selectiveness. And how to genuinely connect with an introvert. Part 1. A neutral face doesn't mean an empty heart. Picture this. Your first day in a new environment, a job, a class, or a community. There's always that one person who shakes hands with everyone, laughs loudly, and becomes the center of attention in minutes. And then there's another person, quiet, observing, slight smile, minimal words. Be honest, which one do you instinctively think is hard to approach? Most people pick the second one, but here's what's really happening inside their mind. They're not being arrogant. They're observing, reading the room, understanding the dynamics, saving their energy for moments that actually matter. In psychology, there's something called a resting neutral face, a natural facial expression when someone isn't actively showing emotion. For many introverts, this neutral expression can be misread as cold or uninterested, but it doesn't reflect what they truly feel. And there's something even deeper. Part 2. The truth about social energy. Have you ever heard of a social battery? It's a simple way to describe how we gain and lose energy through interaction. Here's the key difference. Extroverts recharge by being around people. The more social, the more energized they feel. Introverts, they're the opposite. Social interaction drains their energy, and they recharge through solitude and quiet. This isn't a bad habit. It's not a choice. It's neurological. Research, even from institutions like Harvard, shows that introverts are more sensitive to dopamine, the chemical linked to reward and stimulation. Because of this sensitivity, they can feel overwhelmed much faster in highly social environments. So when an introvert seems quiet at a party or doesn't match your energy in a long conversation, it's not because they don't like you. Their social battery might simply be running low. Part 3. Selective, not arrogant. Now here's the most important distinction. Arrogance means thinking you're better than others. Selectiveness means understanding your energy and choosing where to invest it. Introverts are not avoiding people. They're filtering. Small talk, conversations about the weather, gossip, or surface-level topics. For many introverts, that feels like going nowhere. What they crave is depth. Conversations about ideas, experiences, emotions, perspectives. This isn't intellectual arrogance. It's a different need for connection. Studies have even shown that introverts tend to have fewer relationships, but those relationships are deeper, stronger, and more meaningful. They don't lack connection, they just choose it carefully. Part 4. How to connect with an introvert. If you want to truly connect with an introvert, you need to understand one thing. They don't express interest the way most people expect. They may not talk a lot, but they listen deeply. They ask thoughtful questions. They remember small details you mentioned months ago. That's their way of showing care. Second, give them space. If they pull back or become quiet, don't take it personally. They're not rejecting you. They're recharging so they can show up fully later. Third, don't force social situations. Big crowds and loud environments aren't the best place to build connection with them. But a quiet conversation, a meaningful topic, that's the fastest way into their world. And finally, be patient. Trust with an introvert takes time, but once you earn it, you'll discover someone incredibly loyal, genuine, and deeply present in your life. Closing reflection. Slow, emotional tone. We live in a loud world, a world that rewards those who speak the fastest, respond quickest, and appear the most energetic. In that kind of world, silence is often misunderstood as indifference, calmness mistaken for distance, carefulness mistaken for arrogance. But what if the quietest person in the room is actually the one who understands themselves the most? They don't need to be loud to be real. They don't need everyone's approval to feel enough. For introverts, meaning isn't found in crowds. It's found in honest conversations, comfortable silence, and a few deeply meaningful connections. And there is strength in that. Final message. If you're an introvert and you've ever felt guilty for not being social enough, you don't need to fix something that isn't broken. Your calmness is not a weakness. Your depth is not distance. And you don't need to be louder just to be seen. Call to action. Now I want to ask you something. Is there someone in your life you once thought was arrogant, but now you realize maybe they were just misunderstood? Or maybe that person is you. If so, share your story, because your perspective might help someone else see things differently. And if this video changed the way you see introverts or even yourself, subscribe to Daily Inspiration. Let's keep having conversations that truly matter. See you in the next episode.